Oops. Oh. Right, creating a tutorial today, or at least starting it. We're doing index would be craft a wooden bucket. Let's just figure this out. So first thing would be craft tent, which I think I can do. I just need wood and straw. Oh, so I need the scythe first. Maybe we'll actually just call this step 0. Step 1. This would be index 1, index 2. Craft a wooden bucket. Somebody. Hi everyone. Today we're working on sort of building out the tutorial mechanism because we need to kind of teach people how to play this game. So just kind of putting some possibly placeholder stuff together, but mechanics are the most important thing. Oops, step 0, 1, 2. So our next step function would if state equals null, then maybe we just set state equals tutorial steps dot 0 else. Oh, you're making something in Flutter and Flame, yeah. I'm new to Flame too, or fairly new, I guess. I've just done like one pretty awesome tutorial, and then I just started to get into it. I definitely recommend, if I can, if you haven't seen it, let me see if I can find this tutorial. Probably. Oh yeah, right here. Hey, look, I came up. Look at that. That's amazing. There I am. This series is... I don't know, this is the first... Okay, here's the playlist. I'll put the link to this playlist if you haven't. I went through this whole thing, followed along, did it, and it's awesome. So if you want to learn Flame, this guy did an excellent job, and he was entertaining and fun and everything like that. Okay, so final index equals state dot index. We know it's not null. State dot index, or well, let's call this new index. Index plus 1. Then we can go if tutorial steps dot all steps dot length is greater than new index. I think I have to subtract 1 here. No, I think this is right. We'll find out. Then we'll do something called like complete tutorial, which we'll create a method for that, and we're just gonna set state equaling null. Maybe we'll do something else, you know. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Ref.read toast notifier.add tutorial completed. Success. And we'll just return out of this if that's the case. Otherwise, we'll just make state equal to new index. Yeah, I can't recommend it enough. I wouldn't be able to make what I'm making right now without that. Like, and I played around in the docs. I tried to make some stuff, and just I'm also not really like much of a game dev in my history, so like it's kind of a like game dev is a lot different than app development in terms of how you think about things. Like a game loop is actually pretty awesome. Like you don't really think about state as much. Like updating state and stuff is kind of just happening, 60 frames a second. Okay, so we have our steps here. So we're going to start in step 1, and then basically let's have a new file called tutorial overlay.dart. I might move these into subfolders, but I'm not sure. So this will be just a stateless widget. Tutorial overlay. And we'll want to, let's make it a consumer widget. call this tutorial step equals ref.watch tutorial provider if tutorial step equals null. And we'll just return a size box. And we can do it size box.shrink. Otherwise, we'll return so have some kind of container, of a child, of a column. Is the Flame game you're working on, are you doing it for the game jam on flutter.dev, or are you just kind of doing it for fun? Samuel, how are you? Good to see you again. Like 26 maybe? Okay, let's go to our game screen. And I think we'll just put this to the left, to the right of the menu. Game menu button. So we will just basically wrap this in a row. We're gonna make main axis size and we're gonna make our cross-axis alignment the start so that it aligns at the top. And here we will put the tutorial overlay. And we'll just save everything. Hey, look at that. We have something. I forgot to do main axis size. Not sure why this isn't auto-completing. Okay, so we have that. The color also, I feel like I have to go one more. Black 38. And we just need a little bit of padding beside this. On the left. Save that file. Cool. Build shelter. Now we definitely want our style of this to be a little bit different. Let's make it maybe 18, comma. And we'll make this 16. And maybe this will be, do I even have a bold font? I don't know if I do. Actually, I might. We'll find out. Okay, that's probably a little bit big. I do have a bold font though, that's fine. So let's actually make this maybe 16 and this 14. And also, I think I want to make this have a max width. So we'll wrap it in a constrained box. Constraints. And I'm just going to test it by making it really small. Okay, cool, so that'll work. And then let's make it maybe 300. That's something that might have to be dynamic based on the screen size, but okay. So yeah, that build shelter, but that's not even the first step. I think I screwed this up. Should be step 0. We're starting at 0. Hey, solution ship. How's your day? Get this over here. Okay, craft a scythe, yes. Cool. Alright, so what we need to now actually do is way to track the goal is complete. So I think we will make and we'll just have a default of this, and it'll be a list of resources required. I'm just working on this by myself. This is a solo project for fun and for the contest or whatever, the game jam. But it is open source, so, you know, if anyone wants to play along, you can check out the GitHub and, you know, make a pull request. Okay, so tutorial steps. So for the scythe, we're just going to do resources required, and here it would be resources dot. Actually, I'm gonna use a slightly different version of this. We're actually gonna make this a list of ingredients, because sometimes maybe we actually need to have, need to have 10 of something. So I'm still going to call it resources required. Ingredient is just a combination of a quantity and a resource, so it just allows us to be more flexible. So we'll save that. Resources required, so here we'd actually do ingredient. Ingredient. Oh, let this open. There we go. Resources dot scythe quantity 1. Okay. My email in my YouTube channel. Can you add your email to a YouTube channel? Is that something I should do? I don't know. Sounds scary. I get all these emails. But I could probably do that. Let's see. I'm just gonna do it on my phone, so that I don't take over the screen with this boring stuff. Can I do that? Settings. Edit. 10 URL description. Would I just put it in my description? I've updated. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. You know, I get so many spam emails anyway. It's like, what's another one? I updated my YouTube bio to have it. If you can check and confirm for me, that'd be great. Okay, so I'm trying to think how we can what's the best way to basically be watching for this to show up. You see it. Okay, so I think we'll have like a new file called I'm trying to think the best way to do this. I guess we could have a function in here called void handle inventory change. And then basically in my inventory provider, in the list provider, we can basically anytime, maybe we'll call this inventory, handle inventory add. So whenever we add a resource, so I don't really care about removing for this case, add resource, okay, returns true in this case. I mean, I can just do it here. It's a pretty simple operation. Tutorial provider dot notifier, oops, dot handle inventory add. Cool. So anytime something gets added, it's just going to call this, and then we can check stuff. So in here, we want to say if state equals null, we'll just return out. We don't care about anything. If state dot acquire resources dot is not empty, and we'll just have a bool called completed equals false, and we will loop through. I guess actually we can start it at true. This is probably just a little easier. So we'll do for final resource in, or actually technically ingredient in state dot resources required, and then we can go if ref dot read, and here we'll use our inventory map provider. Dot contains key. We can go if it doesn't contain key, and here we would use ingredient dot resource dot identifier. So if it doesn't even include that key, we'll say completed equals false, and we can just break out of this at that point as soon as we know something is not there. And at the very end of this, if completed, then we go to next step. And maybe we also do a toast. Ref.read. Okay, good. My email's there now. Now you can email me. And maybe we just do whatever the state dot name completed. Okay, so then we have that now also in here. So if it contains key, if it doesn't contain the key, otherwise, and then we need to check just the quantity. If and here we would use ingredient dot resource dot identifier. Okay, and then here dot Yeah, that is actually the number. So actually I'm going to just count equals this. If count is less than ingredient dot quantity, then we also run the same thing. And I guess this could technically be null. So if count equals null, I don't think it actually will be, because in here we would have got that, but okay, cool. I think that'll actually just work. So let's see, am I missing anything? I don't think so. We'll save everything and we'll try our little tutorial. Now this might have to get more complicated if we have different types of rules, but we'll cross that bridge. We might not even, it might just be all based on crafting stuff. Likely will. Okay, so I need to craft a scythe. To do that, I need wood and ore. Easy enough. Here's our iron. So what is your open source project, if you don't mind? I'm missing a couple. Okay, we should be able to craft a scythe now. Scythe craft. So let's see, this should, if everything worked. Okay, it did not. Is there another, did I not save this file maybe? Wait, yeah I did. Okay, so add resource, it's handling this. Oh, did I not, I might have not actually put in, yeah, Scythe, there it is. So is there something else that maybe gets added? Let's actually just go and step through this. Craft menu. So let's find our button. Craft time. Okay, add, yeah, it adds the resource, which is this function here. Alright, it's probably just something stupid. That's usually the case. Let's go back to our tutorial provider and let's just print out, you know, add. What else can we print? So if is not empty, for ingredient in state.resource is required. Okay, so if wait, no, that's in the right spot. I thought it was in the for loop for a second. Okay, so let's just check this. So if it doesn't contain the key, ingredient.resource.identifier, yeah. So let's actually print the count there. And then let's just print completed as well. And let's go to our spawn state, and I'm just going to temporarily give myself wood of 10 and iron, just so we don't have to waste so much time. Okay, let's see, we got some activity in the chat here. It's a templating engine which I want to add games to. So I'm researching Flame. I think it's I think adding a 2D 3D game module might make it even sexier long term. There we go, we're all making friends here. We're all making friends. Happy to Happy to help. Oh yeah, you like the signal patterns? Yeah, I like that video. I like that approach. I use Riverpod. I don't know if I'll ever actually use signals in something big, just because I'm so in love with Riverpod. But you never know. You never know. Okay, let's try crafting this, and let's go to my debug console. We might learn some things here. Okay, so we craft this. Okay, so we got add, but completed was false. Okay. That's interesting. So it never even got here. F.read. Okay, let's just print out the resource we're looking for. Gradient.resource. And let's also print out this whole thing here. Yeah, I made a little tutorial video pretty recently on signals. I think it's a trendy way to do state. It's pretty much what all the JavaScript frameworks have been moving to. Svelte added runes, or Svelte added runes, I guess. React is doing it. The new Angular is all signal based. So, Okay, let's try this. Crafting my scythe. We should get a bunch of data. Here we go. Okay, pick, axe, potato seed, carrot seed, iron. Okay, so I think what's happening is, oh, I know why. Duh. It's because this is actually getting called before all this stuff happens. So I actually need to put this, anytime we're returning true, basically, is where I need to call this. Okay, that's actually wasn't that bad. Okay, let's try it again. I'm sure that was the reason. I don't think you can put emails in here. Maybe you can do it in like a classy way, or you could just message each other on GitHub. All right, here we go. We're gonna complete. Oops. We're gonna try and complete step 1 of the tutorial. Yes. Craft a scythe completed. Okay, and then for some reason, next step did not work. So state equals null, we set it to that. Otherwise, we take the index, we add 1. If all I have this backwards. It just completed the entire tutorial. So if the length is less than new index plus 1. Right? This is like the hardest thing for me. I'm always like got so confused. Okay, so let's say we have 3 steps. If our new index becomes 3, that's when we have a problem. So let's actually just reverse this. Just a little bit easier to think of it. So if the new index is greater than... Yeah, I think if new index is greater than the length minus 1, then we complete the whole tutorial. Okay. Let's try that again. Yeah, maybe there's no messaging on GitHub. I don't know. It's hard to stay in touch these days, eh? Okay, so craft a scythe completed. Okay, build shelter. Awesome. Okay, a couple things I want to do just on the UI is I think we need like something that denotes this is the tutorial. So maybe we actually have just some text above it that says literally the word tutorial. And we could even put in tutorial step dot index +1. I don't really need brackets there, but and then we would have like a slash, and we want to use we need to basically get our tutorial steps dot all steps dot length. Then we can kind of show how their progress is, which is nice to have. Let's also do a decoration underline, and maybe, well, let's just see how that looks. Oh, we need to make the decoration color colors dot white as well. Capitalize that. Nah. Okay, cool. So now here's the thing, because it's just the way the state works. Technically I already have the scythe, but as soon as I put something else in my inventory, it actually should be like, you did it. Yeah. Craft a scythe complete. Cool. Also, something I just thought of, like, we should probably also, when you complete a step, we should do a check on, why do I have that open still? We should do this, and maybe this should actually be, let's get rid of these prints. Maybe we'll rename this. Check progress or something. So when we go to a next step, we'll basically just check the progress after this, because in theory you could already have the stuff for that next step and everything's good. No, I don't do games that work that much. Usually web apps, mobile apps, you know, a lot of Flutter, a lot of back-end work, a lot of marketing stuff, that kind of thing. I have done games. We've done, I've been hired to do games before. Not that often, but it has been known to happen. Yeah, most of my coding is in either Flutter or Django. Most of it. But I also, I'd say, sorry, maybe not. Let's say Flutter, Django, and then web. So like SvelteKit or whatever I decide is the best thing to use at that time. Okay, so we have that. What's our next thing? Build a shelter. Yay. So let's actually see if this just works on the fly. So we will go to... what do I need to craft a shelter? I need to build a tent, so I need wood and straw. Luckily, I have a scythe now. Whee. And we'll get our wood going. 10 of these guys. Same boat, same boat. Tent, craft. 8 seconds. 8 seconds to craft this freaking tent. Let's pitch it. Okay. So now I have the tent. I didn't actually put the required things. And I realize actually we don't really want it to even complete when you have it in your inventory. Instead, it will be like something to do with that you've actually placed it. So that's fine. We can probably do that. I guess we'll also do ingredients for this. We'll call it resources placed, or we'll call it placed resources required. And we'll want to make sure that our step 1 has that. And here we would do another ingredient because we want to at least support the fact that you might, the tutorial might require like 10 things or something. Resources dot tent, and we'll just do quantity 1. So now we have to go back to our logic here. And then we would do, okay, so I think what I actually want to do is not even have, actually let's put, we can do this, yeah. Let's keep completed up there. We're going to move completed out of the loop. And I don't really need these checks because they will just be empty lists, but it just makes it a little bit more clear. Okay, then we basically go for final ingredient in state.this. So instead of checking all this stuff, actually I can just erase it pretty safely. A rising tide lifts all boats. Okay, so for the game, yes, creating levels, because yeah, this is just like a really basic, just fiddling around level. I have made better. I originally had a much nicer looking level, but I reworked how it should go. So I'm using tiled for that. It allows you basically to, you know, drop tiles. I'll open it up right now and show you. Realistically, this game, you know, it's more like something like Factorio, so like it's not, I'm not necessarily going to even, you know, at least for this competition, make like multiple levels. There might be like the tutorial level and then like the real game. But this is what I'm using to make the levels. And you basically just, you know, lay out the assets and stuff, and, you know, I can do cool things like just place this there if I wanted, yay. And it all integrates nicely with Flame. What are the other things in here? Multiplayer, I'm not even thinking about multiplayer, because this is like my first game using this kind of tech, and I don't like to challenge I like to challenge myself, but not do everything, because then it will never get done. What else we got in here? Global rankings, probably not. At least, again, not at first. Gamification, I mean, I think the whole thing is a game, so there's gamification in it. Basically, like, you have stats and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so this is like, you know, I'd say if you had to compare this to any game, you know, it's Stardew Valley meets Factorio, basically. So it's like an automation survival kind of game. Okay, so we loop through these, and then we need to check our placed PR equals, so we do ref.read placed resources list provider dot first where or null. And here we would just make sure if element dot identifier, no, element dot resource, no, element dot sprite dot resource dot identifier equals, and here we want to look at ingredient actually what we can do, instead of first where and all, let's just do where, because then we'll actually get a list back, and really we only care about the length. So we'll call this count equals that, and we can go if count is less than ingredient dot quantity, then we basically do this same thing. Cool. Okay, then the last thing I have to do is actually be doing this check when a placed resource happens, which should be placed resource list provider. So we have the add function here, so at the very end of this we will also do ref.read tutorial provider dot notifier dot, I think we have what, check progress. Yeah, so we'll just run this. Yeah, okay, let's try this again. Yeah, that's why I gave a bit of an explanation what the game is, because, you know, I'm just obviously I'm not going to just turn on the stream and every time assume people know what this is. But we do have seasons, which is cool. So we can go between summer and winter, and everything's great. Okay, so let's wait for this to rebuild, and let's just try our tutorial. Did I? Yeah, I think I did. Let me just make sure. This one, yeah, placed resources required. Okay, so first of all, let's just craft our scythe. Boom. Then we will go and use our scythe to get, I think, like 20 of these we need. If this doesn't work, I'll add a little cheat. Actually, oh, I forgot, I have a cheat code. I added, in the last stream, I quietly added a way to just give myself resources. I basically have the shop, and when it's in debug mode, everything's free, and I can just be like, gimme, 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 gimme. So I'm gonna actually do that. I should probably also, like, maybe not have this notification in debug mode. Okay, so can I craft my tent now? I can. So we're gonna craft it. This should not complete this step. Okay. So we're still on build shelter, which makes sense. And now we're actually gonna place it. Boom. Yeah. Yeah, I have a bunch of backdoors, because, so like this is normally a shop where you can only buy certain items, like seeds, and there'll be various other things you can buy with your currency, but when I have debug mode on, I just get every item, and it's free. See, shop debug mode, just so I know. Okay, so then, wait, that completed, oh, that's interesting. I think, oh, it's because tutorial step 3, actually, I didn't actually put anything in it, so here we would actually do resources required, and we would use resources.wooden bucket, and you just need one. Okay, so craft wooden bucket, so you can drink, carry, and drink water. Maybe we can say carry, drink. This is fine. Carry and consume water. This will also help you. So also let you water your crops. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's go through this tutorial again. We'll start by crafting our scythe. Boom, we got tutorial number 2. Let us get a bunch of that's silly. That's enough, and then let's get some wood too. I'm gonna turn off this messaging thing from the store. Okay. Alright, so let's craft our, what were we doing? A tent. Craft the tent. Oops, hold it down. The hold down thing is borrowed from Satisfactory, if you've played that game. If you haven't, it's awesome. So play it. Okay, this should get us to number 3. Now, okay, craft a wooden bucket. Yeah, craft a wooden bucket so you can So how do we get a wooden bucket? Wooden bucket. So we need some, oh, I need lumber. So we're just going to craft that, which I actually need. Oh, I guess I have enough wood. I do want to do something that tells you how many you have of something. How much lumber do we have now? I can't tell because lumber. Let's find out. So some quality of life stuff could go there. Okay, I need 1 more lumber, which means they're a 1-to-1 ratio. So I'm purposing the tutorial not being like, okay, now craft lumber, because I think people are going to figure that out. I have to go here and craft a little more wood, or a little more lumber, and then I can craft my wooden bucket. And if I did this right, this should finish the tutorial. There we go, tutorial complete. Boom, now I have a wooden bucket. Okay, cool. So, actually, got that. I mean, I know the tutorial's going to be longer. There'll probably be like 10 steps. But the mechanics are all working. So what I need to do is also allow people to, because like right now if I save the game, it's going to put me right back to 1. So we need to make the tutorial part of our save file. So let's make that. And this can be null technically, so we'll just call it tutorial step. Well, we have to call it that. That's what it's called. Tutorial step. And we'll just call it. Now we can call it whatever we want, but we'll call it tutorial step. And we'll need in here actually a way to set it from our save file. And it can technically be null, so let's just step. So cool. And we would basically go and make state equal to step. And if step does not equal null, we'll also just run our check progress at that point. Okay, so that deals with that, and then in our save file, save game list provider, we need to actually save that. So in our save game, we would do tutorial step would be ref.read tutorial provider. And then in our loading of a game, we want to go ref.read tutorial provider .notifier .set, and then we'll take the save tutorial step. Save everything. Tutorials are cool, right? Come on, okay. So let's test out our tutorial. Saving. Did this reload yet? I don't think so. There, now it's going. Okay, so we're on craft a scythe. We will craft that. Scythe. Craft. And we are going to save a game. Now this menu is fucked right now. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't look. So we'll just call this tutorial test. Save. Okay, now I'm just gonna green arrow rebuild. And so we're on step 1 because I just rebuilt, but let's load that game. And I'm on step 2 already. Yay! Okay, great. Okay, so we're gonna commit some code here. This is a great time to commit. Tutorial mechanics completed. Tutorial's not done, just the mechanics for it are done. Speaking of committing code, in case anyone's curious, I can put this link here in the chat if you want to check it out. Okay, so that's cool. I'm just gonna close some files, and I had some notes. Maybe we'll take care of these notes. Make crops take longer to grow. That's a great idea. I think that's done in the farmland detail provider. Maybe not. Where, or maybe it's in the sprite. Sprite. Okay. So it's when it is. That's when winter happens. On tap down. It'll probably be somewhere in here. It's called complete at, I think. Okay, let's just find complete at. Okay, so it's definitely not actually in here. It must be in the farmland list provider. No. Where does this actually get set? I don't remember. I'm just gonna search the project for complete at. Oh yes, it's in the seed menu. It's when you plant the seed. So here we have, oh great, seconds to grow is actually a configurable thing. So let's go to our resource and look for that, seconds to grow. So it's a default of 20 seconds. I feel like 120, 2 minutes feels a little bit better. And let's just make sure I'm not overriding this anywhere. I'm not. So we'll make it 120 seconds, and then we can make potatoes grow faster or whatever we want, which is always cool. Okay, so that I'm not gonna worry about testing that at the moment. Okay, so this one's done. Yay. Can I have the link to the repo? I put it in the chat. Did it maybe get blocked out? Let me know if it's there. I'll look on my phone and see if it's actually showing up in real life. Yeah, I see. At least I can see it. So there's the repo. It's public. Let me know. Let me know if you can find it. Okay, resources that don't allow storage shouldn't have the left column. I don't feel like dealing with that now. Inventory bar. This is something that's been on my mind for a while. So let's actually fix that. Let me just close a whole bunch of things. Inventory bar. So I have a truncated thing. Basically, I'm going to actually make this number. So this is just my constants. What is my inventory size? I think it's 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 16. So let's actually just make the inventory size 16. Where the heck is that? Inventory, there it is. So we're just gonna double it. Now this might create problems on mobile, because this is gonna be a mobile game. That is the intended thing for it, which is why everything's simple. Okay, so now I can see all my inventory, yay. Which, that just actually solves a lot of things. Okay, so we have that. Oops, how did I closed my to-do list. Yeah, I don't feel like dealing with that either. There was another idea I had though, yes, just showing total counts when crafting. So let's think how that could work. So say I'm making, a screw. Maybe it's just even in this list. We could do it in 2 different places. But let's see. So craft menu. So let's see. We have our recipe selector list. So let's actually wherever we have our. So this is the text for the resource name. Is this already in a row? It is. So then let's just add another size box. Maybe a little bit less. And then we can have text, and we'll do ref.watch inventory map provider. Then we would get the resource.identifier, and we want to fall back to 0 because that might be null. And we can actually just put maybe brackets here to make it. So let's see if that shows how many of something I have. Yeah, so that's cool. And then can I actually craft any of this stuff? Soup. I can't make any of this stuff. But you know how I could just give myself some wood. Yeah, let's actually fix that too. Okay, so now when I'm crafting, we go to lumber, and now I'll actually see that number go up. Yeah, look at that. I wonder if square brackets will look better. Those curvy brackets look kind of funny. Yeah, that actually looks better. Okay, cool. And we can even, you know, because this is not even part of the same text, we can also make, you know, the color of it a little bit lighter. Black 54 or something. And then I want to do the same here. Okay, cool. So now, wherever we have the resource name, that's recipe, so it'll be before this. Resource name, I'm going to do something similar. We're going to wrap this in a row. Could just use rich text for this, but like that. Size.min, and we'll grab the same thing, but we'll put a size box with a width of 6 again, and this probably doesn't need the font thing, and we'll do colors dot black 54, and this will be ref.watch inventory map provider selected resource dot identifier fall back to 0. Why? Oh, oopsie. Need to grab all that. We want this here. Okay, so that should show us also how many we have, which makes it really helpful when you're crafting to know. And let's actually put those in those square brackets as well. Easy enough. Samuel, you got the link, right? Just send me a thumbs up. Cool, look, so now I can see I have 3 lumber. If I try and do screws, although I don't think I have resources to do that, but let's just try it for fun. We can go to the store. We can just buy some iron. Then let's fix that. Oh wait, I actually need iron plates to make screws, I think. Let's find out. Screw, yeah, iron plates. So let's go. Let's go. Well, okay, fine. Can I even? Oh, I can't even. Right, I can't even make iron plates yet. But I can go to the store and I can buy them. Where's my iron plates? Probably these iron plates. So now, if we craft and we see screws, we can basically takes a long time to make a screw. We'll balance that. There, 1. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I also want to fix the store menu provider. And yeah, actually, I'm just going to get rid of that. And then when I buy stuff in debug store, you know, we don't get these messages. Hey, it's winter. Okay, let's just test that. I'm sure it worked. Garlic, boom, 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 boom. Look, I can buy all these things. Oh, no room in inventory. Whoa, no. Okay, cool. What else was in our list? So yeah, there was yeah, show total amounts when crafting. Cool. Okay, I don't care about that, but I guess we'll deal with this now. So let's just rebuild so I have inventory again. And what I'm going to do is actually just buy a tent. Buying a tent. Boom. Okay, so a tent. So basically, like, there's no, like, the reason I have that showing up, just to build some context, let me find out, where's my, yeah. So storage, you know, a storage chest. Makes sense to have this here, because I can store stuff in here. I can be like, yeah, let's put some potato seeds in there, let's put some whatever in there, let's put some more potatoes in, cool. But a tent, you can't store anything. So having this here is kind of silly. So let's figure out how to best deal with that. This is the content menu, resource content menu. So I have this whole, is this, that's the container, oh, select recipe. Oh, no wait, is this the right thing? Yeah, this is the right thing. Okay, so we have a row. Inside there we have a container. What the hell is this? Oh, that's, I thought that was fully the container. Okay, cool. Okay. So actually, this whole container, we basically, if place resource dot sprite dot resource dot, maybe actually we'll create one lovely thing for this. So we're gonna go to our resource model, and we'll actually just make something called, I guess at the bottom, cool. Show inventory column in resource contents menu. There. We have the longest variable name in the code base so far, and I'm happy with it. Okay, so basically we'd want to go return if you can, if it can construct, or can, do I have can store? I don't think I do, but we can make that. Resources, purse. I guess I can just use storage type. Or storage type does not equal storage type dot none. Okay, is this logic right? So if it can construct, we return true. Or if the storage type is equal to something other than none, we return true. I think that'll do it. And then I can just pull this over here and save. Why did I choose Flutter for this game? 2 reasons. I like Flutter. Oh. I'm actually going to fix that, but that's cool. So yeah, 2 reasons. I like Flutter a lot. And I'm doing this kind of in part for a game challenge, like a game jam that is hosted by Google and Flutter. So it had, one requirement, the most important requirement of that game jam is your game must be built in Flutter. It doesn't have to be built in Flame, it can be built in whatever, but definitely has to be Flutter. So that's why. Frankly, this is actually working pretty great. I'm happy with this. Is there a better option? Yeah, probably. Probably just even doing this in Game Maker or something, But for me, this is actually the best option because I'm really comfortable with Flutter and RiverPod. And this game, although we're using Flame and we're, making, stuff look cool and stuff with Flame, a lot of this game is actually just Flutter. It is just RiverPod logic and stuff. Most of my work has just been gone into making, providers, and I love RiverPod, so. Okay, so basically, I guess what we want to do is, maybe we actually make the width of this. So I'm going to actually make this a variable called has 2 columns. And that's going to be equal to whether that's true. So if has 2 columns, we will do that. Then that way I can also go, this also should be this, even though they're the same number. And we can go divided by, and I can actually go has 2 columns. We wanted, if there is 2, we divide by 2. We divide by 1, otherwise we divide by 2. And this just needs to be in some lovely parentheses. Okay. Oops. So let's see if that worked. So in theory, this should be now half the width because we don't need that much space. Hey, look at that. That's cool. Okay. So let us just test a couple things here. So let's go to I'm going to get myself a barrel, one of these, a tent. I definitely need a constructor, smelter. We'll start with that. Okay, so I placed the chest. Oh, tent's in the way. The tent is there, it's just not really visible. And that's just like a state issue. Okay, so with chest, I can see my inventory menu. With the tent, I don't. I just have rest and pickup, which makes sense. My smelter, this one actually, I probably still need. Oh, okay, cool. Yep, we're good. And then constructor, cool. Now I'm curious how a well will work, because a well is kind of a different thing that we might have to build an edge case for. So let's place a well. So well does have this, but actually that's also one more thing. Oops. What did I just do? Oh. Let us also build a heavy miner. Get a couple of them. So this one, I also don't really want to show it. And this one, I don't want to show it either. So, what do these things have in common? Resources. Well. I wonder if, okay, so with well, I guess can mine. Is that even a, why don't I have can mine? Oh, I already have this thing, can hold resources. But I'm gonna do this a little bit differently because I feel like there's gonna be logic that needs to be like kind of overridden anyways. So we're gonna make a new we're gonna make a nullable boolean, and it's gonna be, you know, show show inventory. This is really bad, but I'm just gonna call it like the override of it. So let's save that. And then what I can do here is basically take this value. If this does not equal null, we'll just basically take that back. Which is why I make a nullable boolean. So like we can make it true, false, or just keep it as null. And here we just need to say that. Okay, so that means now in my resources, so for the well, let's just do that, show, if anyone has a better name. Yeah, I'll show you how the joystick stuff works in a moment. So we want to override that to false for well, and I also want to do it for the miners. Light miner, heavy miner. You don't ever put stuff in this. Heavy miner, yeah. Okay, so we'll save everything, and then I'll show you how the joystick works in a moment. Then I'm just gonna buy a bunch of things from my free store. Okay, so let's just get a barrel again, or like yeah, wait, that's a barrel, that's a chest. Let's get a couple miners, let's get a well, let's get a smelter. Okay, so if I place this, I shouldn't see that menu. Oh, that one can't be placed there. I also need to, wait, that was weird. I think I need to make a solve for that. Okay, cool. So that worked. Also a well shouldn't show things now. There we go. This one should actually be outputting, yeah, look, we're getting water. This one won't though, because, oh wait, I have to click right, because I don't have power. It's actually, it's gonna actually fail, which is great. That's what we want. Okay, but let's just build something that should have it, like this. Just make sure our logic didn't screw anything up. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, cool. So let's go to my to-do list, and we can actually mark this off. And we'll commit some stuff. So what do we do? Crops take longer, default. Inventory bar full, larger, storage, I'm just gonna copy this lovely variable as part of my commit message and show total counts when crafting. I guess I could have probably just copy and pasted some stuff, but whatever. Okay, let me show you the joystick. How do I do that? It's in my main file. Craft down. Oh yeah, constants. So I have a thing, joystick enabled, true. So when building to mobile, this will obviously be set to true. And I just have to do a full rebuild. Or not a full rebuild, but a green arrow rebuild. Let's test this because I actually haven't done it in a while. What's happening? There we go. So yeah, we have a joystick. And you can just walk around, and everything else is just tapping with your right hand. So like, you know, this, hold down that, cool. So yeah, it's just, you know, pretty simple in that sense. The annoying thing about having the joystick on, and the way this works, like if I try to use my arrow keys now, you know, I can move, I can turn, but I can't actually walk. Which is why I don't usually have it on when I'm working. So we'll turn it back off. Yeah, I have been streaming this between YouTube and Twitch, mostly YouTube, just because I have a bit more of a following. I don't really have a following at all on Twitch, but it's still fun to do it there. So I've been kind of flipping back and forth, but mostly on YouTube. I have looked into those platforms in the past. Like, if you can list a name, that would be helpful. I feel like I found, at least at the time when I did it, managing the chat was hard. I'm sure that's gotten better. I'm sure these tools probably have, like, you know, an aggregate chat or something. So Solutionship, recommend me a platform and I'll, you know, maybe start using it, because yeah, it'd be cool to just be on multiple things. All right, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Some good progress today. I guess we can just go back to tutorial land for a bit and really kind of plan this out. Okay, so basically, I'm just gonna kind of plan this out and make it as we go. So we would have a step 3, and I think this would be something to do with farming, because you have your scythe now, you have your wooden bucket. Plant some crops. Increment that. Oh, you're asking me. Wait. Hang on. What are you using? Ever consider using Twitch? Yeah, so I'm using I mean, if this is what you're asking, I'm just using OBS to just stream to one platform. But there are like platforms out there for yeah, like streaming to multiple. Like you basically stream it to one place and they like broadcast it on every half, because it's just would use too much internet if I was actually, and probably do weird things if I was streaming directly to two things at the same time. Yeah, no, these things definitely exist. Like, let me actually just find the one I'm talking about. Stream to multiple platforms.com. Restream. This is the one I am familiar with and I've used in the past. Let's get out of their blog and actually just see what they support. I probably already have an account here. Email already used but not confirmed. Log in with password and confirm the email. Okay. We'll just try some random passwords. Email already in use. Log in. Oh, I thought that's what I was doing. Damn it. Aww. No. Oh, wait. Continuous. Yeah. Like, this is what I'm trying to do. Jesus. I'm streaming on YouTube. Yes. Okay, what's going on here? Continue. I've already tried this. Jesus Christ. Okay, it's not like me. Anyways, let's look at... I don't actually need to log in to probably find this out. Let's see about... So, multi-streaming. Does it tell you? I know it does Twitch and YouTube. And probably, yeah, Facebook and stuff. I might look into it again. Yeah, I just got... It was just difficult, like, to, like, manage the chats when I was doing on multiple, even though, like, you know, I had, like, one person. Still, it was hard. Okay, so step 3, plant some crops. Let's get a farm going so you don't get hungry. So for this, we basically would want, this might be a different mechanic. Oh no, I guess, okay, what do we start with seeds? There's potatoes and carrots. So what we could actually do is make sure you have in your inventory at least one potato. And what do I start with? 8 potatoes, 4 carrots. So maybe it's just like 3 of each. If I were harvest 3 potatoes and 3 carrots to continue, something like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually change in my tutorial provider. Oops. No, you're not distracting me. I mean, I find it fun, like, because I'm just kind of working on this thing for fun, and I'd rather, you know, rather chat. I'd rather chat than work anyways. So keep it up, keep it up. Okay, so we're gonna start at step 3, and I'm gonna go to my spawn state, and we're also just going to change this to already have a scythe, just one, because I need that to farm. Oh no, I need, wait. Oh wait, I don't need a scythe, I need a shovel. I need a scythe and a shovel actually, so I wonder if it's like, maybe we don't even make that a step. We make the, we treat the user as if they're smart. So I'm just gonna actually turn that off. And let's just see if this makes sense. Yep. Okay, so basically I'm like, okay, cool, I gotta plant some crops. Oh, I also need to put this here. Not that it matters really right now, but you can see I'm on tutorial 4 of 3. It's amazing. Okay, so basically I would go here and I'd be like, okay, cool. Oh, use a shovel to dig here. I'm like, okay, I'll use my shovel. I'm like, oh no, I don't have a shovel. So then I'm like, okay, I guess I've learned how to do this. I'm gonna craft a shovel, and that's how this, you know, that's how this will work. And in order to craft a shovel, I need to get, whoa, my mouse just got so big, that was crazy. So we got 10 of these, I think it's 10 and 10. And then I could also get 10 wood, but we don't need to waste our time. Okay, I could have also just bought, I could have just bought a shovel, but this is more fun. So I craft my shovel. And then I'm gonna be like, okay, cool. And then I come here and I need to change it to use my shovel. We'll just plant up a bunch of things. So we need 3 of each, 3 potatoes. Okay, so then I click here, potato, 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 and we'll do carrot, carrot, carrot. Now this, because I've set this to be 120 seconds, will actually take a bit for this to go. But we will test it, because this is actually the first time we're testing having, more than one quantity, and in fact 2 items. So, although did I save? Yeah, I saved this. This is just, that's all I added. Experiencing, yeah, we got some time to chat right now because it's gonna take 2 minutes for these crops to freaking grow. Actually, while that's, I'm just gonna do something fun. Oh, I need a water bucket, so let's just go and buy one for free. So I can actually, what's cool is I can use my water bucket and make these prettier, and then they actually yield more when they're watered. But anyways, okay, what's your experience managing packages? I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Do you just mean like your npm equals name? Yeah, npm's annoying. I mean, in JavaScript land, obviously I still have to use npm. There's not really a way. Like I use yarn more than npm, but it's still the same, npm repository. But it's fine. Your node modules folder gets big, whatever. And then yeah, I mean, in Dart we use pubspec, mostly pub.dev. Sometimes you have to clone something, make your own project, or make your own repo, fork it, whatever, point to it. But I haven't had nearly as many trouble, at least recently, with Flutter. Like, I think when I first got into it a few years ago, like I would run into dependency issues where like, oh, it requires this version of HTTP and this one, and I'd be like, screw this, I quit. But there's always ways around it. You can always just fork a package and change the requirements. So yeah, haven't had too many issues on that. Okay, so, oh look, we have a carrot. Look, they're popping up, guys. So now I need to, this is where, I use the Scythe, which I already have. So I have, oh, actually, yeah, these come with multiple. So I should actually, just by doing this, there we go, tutorial complete. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And then after that, there'll be other, other things that the tutorial will need. Probably smelting next, I would guess. To teach you about that, and then constructing. Let's actually kind of plan that out. So we'd have smelting, maybe actually mining. Oh wait, we need power actually. Power would be next, then mining, then smelting, then I think constructing, and then I think that's probably it, at least for now, until we get into like assembling, which is basically constructing with multiple ingredients, but we don't even have that mechanic yet. Okay, let's see. Basically some CLI command to bundle version. Yeah, pubspec and Dart is definitely a dream compared to npm. I think so. I mean, like at the end of the day, like I think the problem with npm is it was a very early package management. Like I don't even know what existed before npm. I feel like it was probably like one of the first things. Like I don't know, maybe Compose for PHP predates it, but I don't even think it does. So like all these other package managers and for different languages like got to kind of like learn from their mistakes and do things better. npm, like I have a friend who works there or used to work there, and there's so much backwards compatibility, right, that you have to kind of like worry about, that you can't really like reinvent the wheel. And then yeah, for Python, I just use pip for Python. I know there's like poetry and stuff, but I never had a problem with pip, so I don't really need to change it. I don't use Anaconda either, unless it's like really need to use it for something more like data science sort of stuff. But yeah, I don't know, like I think there's nothing wrong with I never had any issues with my pub spec. With my you have your dependencies here. You sometimes increment these versions. It's cool, whatever. And I very rarely run into issues. And I also think it's because like Flutter community, at least for the packages I use, are pretty on top of things. Like when there is, a new version of Dart, like they're updating it, so you don't run into like those issues as long as you're staying up to date. I'd say the biggest problem I have is Firebase. Like anything if I'm using Firebase, which I don't use that often, that's where I'll run into problems, because it's like you have the Firebase, especially for like native, like for iOS or something, because you gotta like manage like the pub spec version of Firebase, but then you also need like the pod version of it, and you're updating your iOS pod file stuff, and then you have like the way they do their packages. There's like the core, but then there's like messaging and there's analytics and stuff, and sometimes those aren't always compatible with each other, and they're not the same version numbers. So that's where I'd say it struggles the most. And of course it's a Google product, ironically. I vote you consider card games to get started. What's that in reference to? What's that in reference to? Card games. I love card games. I also, in case you're unaware, in my videos somewhere, yeah, I have a whole playlist here, a whole series about building a card game in Flutter, and this is a fun project from how long ago? 2 years ago. So I probably do things very wrong, but people seem to like it. So this is one of my most viewed videos, one of them. So check this out if you like card games. I've also recently done a casino game. I guess just go to my videos, and pretty recently, yeah, casino games. So we built a not a card game, but more like a dice game. This was more of a walkthrough though. I didn't actually do it live because it was a pretty large project, and I wanted to make a short video. So it's more of a walkthrough of it as opposed to coding of it. So yeah, that's that. Make some card tutorials. Yeah. So, like I just showed, I made one at least one, and that's cool. Yeah, Trip. Check out, like, have some pretty good content, learner content. I definitely recommend, this series right here. I think is really, if you're making apps, I feel like this series is one of my, even though it's like doesn't have a ton of views, it's probably one of my best work in terms of like updated stuff, especially if you watch the extra video after it that I added that kind of like was like, oh, I did some things wrong and I fixed it. If you're interested in ServerPod, I've done a pretty comprehensive series on ServerPod, and ServerPod's awesome. It's like a full stack Dart basically, but it's meant for Flutter. It's not like, oh, I'm just using like Shelf on one side in Dart and then Flutter in here. It's like it builds a bridge between your Flutter app and your backend, where it doesn't feel, it's really cool. It doesn't feel like you're working in two code bases. Like there's like generators that it does when you change your backend. It creates all the generators so that your front end already like knows what the shape of the model is and stuff. So yeah, you can check out those. My next series, something I'm thinking about doing, which I'm pretty excited to do. I kind of want to do like a back-end tutorial like targeted towards Flutter developers, because I think from what I noticed in the subreddit, like so many people are always asking like, oh, I can make Flutter, but I don't know how to do the back-end, right? And like, so I'm thinking of doing like a full like series on that, and starting with things like, okay, like the obvious stuff, like sure, Firebase, and like app rewrite and Supabase and stuff, like kind of starting with those, out of the box ones, moving into things like ServerPod or Shelf, to stay in Dartland, and then really, going into like things like Django, things like, probably just Django. I probably won't like do every, there's a million backends and stuff, but just kind of showing, I think from a Flutter perspective, like from a front-end developer's perspective who wants to build and ship an app, because like realistically today, if you're a one-man developer, like you can't just rely on only doing front end. You need to know a bit of back end, and you also don't really want to rely on using something like Firebase for everything, because Firebase, it's great for prototyping something. Same with Supabase, it's great, but you don't have the control that you really should have as a developer. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing next, in terms of like actual, not just live. I'm not going to live stream that. That'll be like a real video. Yeah. More like Next.js for web. Okay, so wait, I think I have some comments, some context here. So Samuel, you never liked Firebase. Yeah, I agree. I used it on a few things when it has its place, and it's cool. Like the real-time database is cool, and the authentication is cool, but like trying to do something real on it, like you're not going to. Let's partner up. I'll ship your games to the project I'm working on. Okay, cool. I think you emailed me. I haven't read the email yet because I don't want to just like pull it up on the stream and be like, hey everyone, I got an email. But yeah. Check it out. All right. Okay, so we have crops, planting, tutorial. Oh, yeah, so we're gonna do power, mining, smelting. Yeah, I'm not sure what my distribution of this game is going to be like. First, I'm just trying to get it done-ish. Like, let's call it early access done by the end of this month, because that's the competition is like deadline is coming. But I think if the game's good, like I do want to release it on like iOS and Android, like as a native app, and just charge $5 for it or something. Like nothing crazy, no subscription, whatever. Might also put it on Steam, because it is obviously like a Mac and Windows app. It can be a Mac and Windows app, so that's what I'm thinking. And yeah, there could be a web version too, which I think is more what, I'll read that email, but maybe that's more what your thing is. We will see. But I'm just gonna keep working on this for fun. Anyways, I require a break for my lunch, and I'm gonna enjoy I'm in Toronto, and the weather is beautiful today for February 10th, so I'm gonna enjoy some outdoor time. But I may come back in an hour and a bit and continue this. So if you notice me come hang out some more. But this has been fun. So if not, enjoy the rest of your day and weekend, and see you around.